Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. We just finished day 2 of joint practices with the Washington Commanders, but unfortunately, there's some terrible news that is stealing the show and something I can't get off my mind. Marlon Humphrey is getting foot surgery, and there's no exact timetable for his return right now. Harbaugh said it's not long-term. Reports are saying 6 to 8 weeks. We have no idea, but it's likely that he's missing a few games to start the regular season. We've been talking about how thin the cornerback room has been all off-season. Recently, we've been talking about how many injuries the cornerback room has been having. And then now, Marlon Humphrey, the one who couldn't get injured, is injured. Harbaugh said it was a lingering injury. This is something that's been bothering him for a while. They just decided that they're going to have to get surgery and that that's the best way to go so that hopefully he can have a healthy season or healthy finish to the season. But it's not good news. It's not good news at all. We should have Jalen Armour-Davis, Rock Ya-Sin, and Arthur Maulet coming back very soon. We still have Seymour and Caillou Blue Kelly, but obviously the cornerback room has taken a huge hit. There's not many free agent guys to go grab right now. It's very late in the offseason, and most of those guys are on teams. They're scooped up. Harbaugh said that in his press conference today. He said even the guys that are available, you got to be in shape. You got to want to play. If you're in football shape and ready to go, like, we'll sign you. To me, that gives us a little insight to how these visits or some of these visits have went. When we're bringing in corners on visits like William Jackson, but not signing them when we're clearly in a desperate situation here where we need to add some corners to the room, we're not signing them, but Harbaugh was like, you got to be in shape. You got to be good. We're not just going to sign you because you played well 4 years ago. You got to be ready to contribute right now. We're trying to win a championship. This is a championship-level roster. This is definitely a problem. Marlon Humphrey missing time is something that we just can't afford. I mean, outside of Lamar and maybe like Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey is crucial to this team. And we've seen what happens when he goes down before. Now, that was a different defense, so that is something to point out. Wink ran his defense, in my opinion, a lot more aggressively to a fault sometimes. Mike McDonald is a little bit more strategic, in my opinion, so I think we might be running a lot more zone, and hopefully this rush can cause some serious problems. Even though we don't have a lot of cap room, I think we're around $9 million right now. We obviously need to bring in some corners. I mean, there's no doubt about it, even if it's just some free agents for now, some cheaper free agents. We need to bring in some corners. But I still think we should invest in the pass rush. I don't think we should pull the Jadeveon Clowney offer. I think that, if anything, we bolster the pass rush because we need to have an elite pass rush to make up for what these corners are going to do. And, man, I just can't believe that this is all happening to one position group. Probably our weakest position group when it comes to depth. All these injuries are happening in August. Now, maybe everyone gets healthy and doesn't get re-injured and nothing lingers, and we're not even talking about this, when Marlon gets back and Rock Ya-Sin's opposite of him and Jalen Armour-Davis is stepping up. I mean, it could happen, you know what I mean? Everyone could get healthy and stay healthy, but definitely not a good sign that the entire cornerback room is dealing with different injuries already in August. Because usually the season kind of beats you up even more and things definitely linger. So hopefully this surgery is to get ahead of that foot injury that Marlon Humphrey's dealing with, and he'll come back as good as ever. Now, the other option to bring in help is a trade, and we've talked about that before. The issue with that right now is most teams don't want to give up their corners. There's not a lot of great corners, and most teams don't have a ton of great corners. And every team right now in August is optimistic for their season. You know what I mean? We can look objectively as fans and be like, okay, this team, doesn't have the roster to win a lot of games. But that team practicing in camp right now, that GM, they think they're going to be competitive. There's not a lot of purposeful tanking going on in the NFL. You know what I mean? This is not basketball. Basketball, you just deplete your roster and suck on purpose. That doesn't really happen in football. I mean, you don't want to deplete your roster and then just go get killed every week. You're going to have players get hurt. It's not good. So teams are going to hold on to their corners. I mean, you could even toss a first-round pick at somebody right now, and I feel like they're going to be like, no, we need that guy. So if we do make a trade, I think we probably will make a trade. I think that's going to be during the regular season, probably closer to the trade deadline, which is what we do year after year. So we might be heading into this season with what we got. Now, obviously, Rock Ya-Sin, Jalen Armour-Davis, Arthur Mollett, those guys should get healthy here soon. They're definitely not dealing with long-term injuries. At this point, they're expected to play week 1. And then Marlon Humphrey will be back a few weeks into the season. So there's definitely a chance that we can survive this. I'm not saying that this is death to the season. You know, I'm still optimistic about our chances. Hopefully Marlon can get back really soon, and we'll just have to make some more additions. Eric DeCosta is going to have to make some magic happen. He usually does pull it off. So we'll just sit back and enjoy the show, I guess. But we need some help. We need some help bad. All right, enough of the cornerback sorrows. We did have some practice today. It was kind of an uneventful practice. That's why this Marlon Humphrey news is kind of stealing the whole time slot here. Lamar didn't have his best day. He missed some throws. It happens. Obviously, this isn't a common theme, so I'm not really worried about it at all. I trust Lamar to make plays and execute this offense at a really high level. Odell looked good out there. He's moving well. He caught a touchdown in the red zone. Zay Flowers continues to impress practice after practice. He shook a dude bad in the end zone in one-on-ones. I love what I'm seeing from Zay. I love what I'm seeing from Odell, from Mark Andrews. Can't wait to see J.K. Dobbins and Rashad Bateman tossed into these team drills. And then the Ravens aren't showing a lot either. That's another thing to point out. I mean, as much as it's fun to watch these live practices on a live stream on YouTube, they're holding back. Even Harbaugh mentioned it. We're not seeing, the public isn't seeing the real offense. You know what I mean? We're getting some base level stuff that they're okay with showing, but Harbaugh was like, yeah, we're pretty calculated with what we're showing. It's fun to see the one-on-ones and stuff. That's obviously real situational stuff, you know, beat the man in front of you. When it comes to formations and the way the offense is running as a whole, we're not getting to see the majority of the stuff that we're going to see in the regular season, which is a good thing. They don't want the public knowing anything because that gives an edge to other teams, right? They can see what's coming. And especially with this offense, there's no film on this Todd Monken, Baltimore Ravens offense. Brand new weapons for Lamar. Nobody has film. Nobody exactly knows what's coming. And we're loaded on offense, and I think we're going to have to score quite a bit of points, at least at the beginning of the year, because without Marlon Humphrey, I know that we're going to let up some points. So there's some pressure on the offense and Lamar Jackson to score some points. I have all the faith in the world that they can score a lot of points, and especially because teams don't know this offense. They haven't seen this offense before. Now, halfway through the season or by the end of the season, they'll have a lot more film and a lot more of an idea of what we're doing. But right now, hopefully we can kind of shock teams and get on them fast and put up some points quick. And something I keep hearing over and over is kind of the theme of this offense is how quick they want to play. Up-tempo offense, hurry to the line, make decisions fast, get the ball out of your hands fast. That's a great strategy to attack teams, especially early in the season, because they just don't know what's coming. So I'm really excited about the offense. I know they didn't have the best day today, but it's just one joint practice on a live stream, you know. It's not a big deal. Like Odell said in his press conference today, they're just gearing up for September. September's when it matters. September's when Bateman and J.K. Dobbins is in this offense, and these games count. So they'll be ready, and they're going to have to be ready because we're going to have to score some points. There's no doubt about it. But I also trust this defense. I trust Mike McDonald. I trust Eric DeCosta to bring in some help at the cornerback room. We'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm still excited for the season. It's not over. As bad as this Marlon Humphrey news hurts, we still got a whole season of Ravens football, and we have a really, really good team. Appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.